Hello and welcome to the Rum Revival. It's Arminder here, and today I'm sharing my picks for 5 rums for 5 different occasions. These kind of lists are kind of like all over the internet, especially on Reddit, where you basically answer questions like what's your daily drinker, your special occasion bottle, or your go-to bottle to mix with, that kind of thing. And everyone has their own answers to these questions, and folks, especially like in the bourbon world, have created all sorts of like YouTube videos where they share their answers. So, I figured why can't us rum kids have some fun with it as well? So that's why I'm putting this video together. Now, the 5 occasions that I'm going to pick rums for aren't like the standard ones you'll see in a lot of these lists. I'm actually going with a list that Matt Porter from ADHD Whiskey started about 4 years ago. I just think it's a much more kind of interesting list of 5 occasions. So that's what we're going with. Also, a big shout out to Lucas Assis, who had posted a video recently of his 5 tequila picks for these 5 occasions, and that video was a big kind of source of inspiration to create this video. So big shout out to Lucas. And seriously, if you want to learn anything about tequila or mezcal, you should definitely subscribe to his channel and follow him on Instagram, because I've learned so much about that whole world thanks to him. All right, so let's move on to the occasions and my rum picks. Now let's start off with the night starter. This is for those occasions where I'm going to have a number of rums throughout the course of the evening, and I usually don't drink like the same rum multiple times in one night. I like to change it up. So then the night starter, of course, is the first rum that I'm drinking to kickstart the night's worth of drinking. And because it's the first one, I'm not looking for something that's super high in ABV, right? Like I don't want to blow my palate, I don't want to fatigue it, but I definitely want something that's flavorful enough to kind of get the juices flowing. So with that in mind, my night starter is Rum JM Terroir Volcanique. Now this is a 43% ABV cane juice rum aged 3 years in highly charred ex-bourbon barrels. And what I particularly love about this is that it has both a really big char and barrel note quality to it, but also has like this really big green cane juice distillate note underneath it as well. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, right? And as the first rum of the night, I get a good amount of flavor at that 43% ABV, but it allows me to pivot afterwards, right? I can either, after this, go into the direction of a higher proof unaged cane juice rum, or I can move into the direction of a longer aged rum made with either cane juice or molasses. And I love that this kind of gives me the flexibility to kind of go in either direction. So because of that, I think this is the perfect night starter. Now, the next occasion is when someone asks you, hey, what rum are you really enjoying right now? What really excites you at the moment? So this is kind of like your current go-to favorite. And this is the rum that I'm currently kind of really obsessed with and is kind of my current daily drinker. Now, if you talk to me like 3 weeks from now or 3 months from now, I might have moved on to another rum, but at this moment, I am all about this rum. And that rum is A1710 La Perle. Now, this is an unaged cane juice rum from Martinique, and it's important to note, though, that it is not a AOC certified rum agricole blanc from Martinique, and that's because A1710 doesn't really follow all of the kind of various production requirements you need to follow to kind of be able to slap that AOC label on the bottle, but that's perfectly okay because this stuff is delicious. Now, it's bottled at 54.5% ABV, and this has lovely, lovely aromas of like honey and green cane and green banana. And on the palate, it starts off soft and gentle with this kind of like sweet honeyed cane quality and a little bit of that kind of green banana. And then midway through, the proof kind of kicks in and you get this hit of like black pepper, and you end on a bit of brininess that is just delightful. I've only got this bottle like a week and a half ago, and I am like obsessed with it. And while I do love it neat, it is also so good in tea punch. Now, weirdly enough, with a little bit of lime and cane syrup, this kind of takes on this kind of really nice spiced element to it, like a touch of clove and cinnamon. That's kind of weird, I know, but it's also incredibly drinkable, and I just know that when the weather gets warmer and warmer, as it kind of is, I'm going to crush so many tea punches made with this rum. Now, next up is the Hipster bottle. This is for those occasions where you want to show off a little bit, not because you have some sort of expensive or really rare bottle. No, this is for those occasions when you're really trying to show off how eclectic or obscure or kind of unique your tastes and preferences are, how kind of non-mainstream you are, right? It's more of a flex in the sense of like, hey, look at me, I'm totally into this thing that you've probably never heard of. And look, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I kind of live for those occasions because I'm a sad man who is always craving attention. So my Hipster bottle is really kind of anything from rum at all, but I'm going to go with the variable Dunderclap. Now this is to me a Hipster bottle because it's coming from a new very small producer out in LA that puts out a very limited quantity of rum. Like I think this is bottle 39 of 48 in total. Now, then on top of that, they only ship to California, so chances are you've never tried this or any of their other rums. And then on top of that, this is an unaged pot still molasses-based rum, which, isn't a type of rum that most folks kind of tend to drink neat. Unaged cane juice rums, sure, but ones made with molasses and bottled at 75% ABV, yeah, I don't know how much of the market is kind of clamoring for stuff like that, but gotta say, it is awesome, awesome stuff. Now, this has these really great kind of earthy honey notes, little hint of cinnamon and kind of raisins, the little touch of citrus and like a little bit of like twigs to it as well. Now, at that 75% ABV, it is a pretty bold tasting rum if you drink it neat. So I will add, a little bit of water. And when you do that, it just opens up, has great character and this really awesome mouthfeel. Now, I really do think in a couple of years, more folks will be hip to what Robin over at Rum It All is doing. And hopefully she'll be able to make more rum and that more folks will be able to get their hands on that rum. And then when all of you are able to try it and you start raving about it, then I can be like, yeah, man, I was totally into that stuff like years ago. Now, the next occasion is the bottle share. And by that, I don't mean, you and a couple of friends. No, I mean one of those bottle shares where there's like 15, 20, 25 plus people. One of those bottle shares where there's like definitely people there that you don't know, so you don't want to kind of waste your really good rum on strangers. But that being said, you still want to leave an impression, right? So you want to bring something that's special enough that will, turn heads a bit, but you'd also be okay if that bottle was killed at that bottle share. So for my bottle share rum, I'm going with Outlier Distilling's Millions of Peaches. Now this is a 3-year-old rum aged entirely in a Sauterne wine cask, and it's made on the Isle of Man in the Irish Sea. And I think this is a perfect bottle for a bottle share because one, it's not available here in the US, only in the UK. So admittedly, there's a good chance that the people at this hypothetical bottle share haven't tried this rum. So, that will kind of get you some points right away. And secondly, this literally tastes like millions of peaches, like bold, in-your-face peaches. Now, folks may or may not love this, right? It's a pretty over-the-top rum with very little nuance to it, but that's kind of frankly why I kind of adore it. And I think that's kind of why this is like the perfect bottle share rum, because at these bottle shares, right, you might try 10, 15, 20 different rums, and at some point, all of that is gonna kind of blur together. And at the end of it, at best, you're gonna really only remember how like 1 or 2 rums actually taste. Now, given the intensity of the millions of peaches here and the fact that it's 63.1% ABV, this is gonna break through any kind of palate fatigue. And ultimately, there is no way that anyone is going to not remember how this rum tastes at the end of the bottle share. And at the end of the bottle share, you will be crowned the winner, right? Because that's how bottle shares work, right? And the last occasion is the small circle. This is when you have a small group of friends over, people that you actually know and actually care about, folks that you're willing to share your feelings and your emotions with, and more importantly, you're willing to share some of your more special and limited rums with. And to me, a small circle occasion is one where you have the time and the opportunity to really sit with the rum in your small circle, and you have the time to let it open up and unfold and kind of reveal its secrets, which is not a thing you can really do at a bottle share with tons of people, right? So you want a rum that has some nuance and some layers to it. So for this occasion, I'm gonna go with probably my favorite release from the last few years, and that's the Velier Flag Series Trinidad 2002 release. Now this is a 20-year-old single cask rum made by Trinidad Distillers Limited, the folks that make Angostura. And weirdly enough, also like the Millions of Peaches, it's bottled at 63.1% ABV. And I absolutely love this rum, and I so regret not having bought a second bottle when I had the chance. This has tons of heavy, rich, dark notes that I think are perfect for a small circle experience. Now, as you let this rum open up and you slowly sip it neat, it's gonna reveal these lovely notes of dried mint, some ash, some menthol, and the little accent of like a little bit of lychee. It's so good. It's so good. After drinking this rum neat for a couple of sips in our small circle, and I'm totally actually picturing me and my friends sitting in a circle, looking at each other kind of dead in the eyes, then we're going to each at the same time, while not breaking eye contact, we're gonna add just one little drop of water into the rum, and then we're going to let it open up and taste it again, and we're going to see how the rum changed with just that little bit of water. And then we're going to do it again, adding another drop of water at the same time while not breaking eye contact, and each time we're going to rave about how the rum has transformed and how special it is, and how special it is that we're all here at this moment in time with this rum and with each other. And because, we're getting drunk together, we're all going to bare our souls to one another. Tears will be shed. We'll share what makes us happy, what makes us sad, what gives us meaning in life. And we're going to really celebrate our beautiful friendship together in this small circle over this beautiful rum. And we're also going to gossip about that one friend that couldn't make it that night, and we're going to talk mad shit about him the whole time. All right, so these are my 5 rums for those 5 occasions, and of course, I'd love to know what your 5 picks would be for those occasions, so let me know by leaving a comment down below. And if you want to support this channel, then check out my Patreon page where I have a bunch of exclusive content that I think you might like. And if you sign up for one of the paid tiers over there on Patreon, you get access to the Rum Revival Discord server, which is a fun community of rum lovers that hang out and talk about rum. So come on and join us over there, and thank you so much for watching. Catch y'all next time. Cheers.